Ladies and gentlemen, my name is London Electricity, and
My name is David Lopez.
absolute pleasure to be here with David.
Same.
Do you want to tell our esteemed audience what you do here at Hospital Records, Dave?
Well, yes, I'm the Webshop manager, Hospital Records. Basically, I'm the responsible of the shop, and that involves from planning to manufacturing, designing, and delivering, and customer service of all our customers.
Thanks. Now, I think I want to rewind right back to your childhood. And if you can imagine that this is like a film script, and if you can talk us through the journey from your childhood through your obvious love of design and drum and bass,
Yes.
and how you got here.
Yes, it's a peculiar story, you know.
We like peculiar stories.
Well, I'm from Spain. You can't, tell by my accent. I'm from Barcelona, Catalan. I was born in 1985, and
Wow.
I spent all my childhood in Barcelona. When I was 10 years old, my parents, they moved from where they're from. It's a completely different city, and I moved with them, and my sister Maria. I was living in this city. It's called Ponferrada until I was 25 years old. In this city and in the rest of Spain, drum and bass is not a real thing, a big thing. It's obviously electronic music, but it's more like techno, house, this kind of genres.
So when did you first hear drum and bass?
That was pretty late. It was pretty late. Was maybe I was already like 26, 27 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, because before drum and bass, I was involved on techno music and house music, because that was the only access to electronic music I have in that moment. My friends, they were like playing techno, playing house. So that was my first influence, or my first relationship with the live DJs and producers of my hometown.
So can you remember exactly where you were and what the tune was that you first heard that was drum and bass?
Yeah, that was, I think, was Pendulum.
Pendulum?
Yeah, it was Pendulum. One of these like friends, DJs that we used to play techno, he was really into drum and bass, and basically it was the only person I knew that was like showing me these like new sounds, because I was used to this like techno vibes, and that was really weird for me, no? Drum and bass, it was a complete boom, bap, bap. Like, that sounds weird for me, no? But yeah, I was going to the beach in his car, and he put a Pendulum CD, and yeah, it was amazing in that moment, you know, to me. So I was quite curious about this like new sound for me, and he said basically, just come to my place. I have like a setup, and I've been going to London to raves. But I said, okay, let's go. So I went to his home where he had a setup, a DJ setup. And he had the whole wall full of posters of Hospital Records.
That's amazing.
Hospital Records, Hospitality, a bit of Metalhead. Obviously, in that time, I didn't know what was. It was like, like explain me all this, no?
That's incredible.
Yeah, and with time, I was just getting like curious, and he was playing music for me at home. But just him and me, like probably like a hobby thing, no? Just I was. With time, I was getting a bit more like curious, to the point that I think it was 2008, he was coming to Brixton, just where we are almost right now, to a Brixton Academy.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the next I was doing maybe it was like a
Netsky Live?
Nesca Live.
Right. Yeah, he did one of his first live shows at, if not the first live show, at the Academy.
Yeah. So I went there, and that was the first time I was basically listening to drum and bass with more than 3 people.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know how many people is fitting there. 3,000, 4,000.
It's about 4.5.
4.5.
4,800 actually if it's packed. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Which
that was exactly what changed forever my understanding of drum and bass.
Wow.
And I see that wasn't just like something a minority. Still not being obviously like a massive genre, but to see all these people enjoying the drum and bass and the way that they were enjoying it, because the crowd of techno and house and the crowd of drum and bass was completely different.
Can you explain the difference between a techno and house crowd and a drum and bass crowd?
Yeah. It's just about the unity. This is the unity. I think like in the techno house crowd was more like there's an event and different people goes there. They enjoy that, but there's not any feeling of become or be part of something.
So you think people stay more within themselves?
Yes, within themselves, and this doesn't stop. Obviously, it's more like different groups. They enjoy. They go there to the event. They enjoy, but it's not like. It was a bit more difficult to, for example, join these different people inside the rave,
Right.
inside the event. A bit more segregated in some way.
Yeah.
And me, or at least that rave I went to Brixton, I went almost with no friends, because I went with my friend. And,
Yeah.
when I finished the rave, I have friends from here, from there. Surprised me as well how people as well was dancing. Was really different,
Yeah.
There's no rules. More in techno house, if you start to dance like drum and bass, they will be straight away looking at you,
Yeah.
And this was more like freedom, more about unity, more about love. I really that was mind blowing for me.
Wow.
On top of that, I wasn't used to go as well to raves that big. So yeah, was amazing.
So that's a real baptism.
Yeah.
I mean, to have your first event at Brixton Academy.
Yeah.
Hospitality.
That was
so
intense.
You went back to Barcelona.
I went back to Ponferrada. That's the second city where I was living. And from that moment, my holidays was just go to the United Kingdom and enjoy the raves. So that wasn't the first. Was the first of many more.
Yeah.
So the next following years, drum and bass was growing in me, but without any possibility, because as well to basically join that scene, because obviously in Spain wasn't anything big. So I still just in that time I was working for Vodaphone in a call center, and as I said, spending my holidays just coming here to the UK to enjoy the drum and bass.
Now, were you designing by then? Had you?
Yeah, I studied graphic design.
So you studied graphic design?
Yeah, I studied graphic design at uni.
College, right?
At uni, and I was basically doing posters, but for house and techno events.
Yeah.
So I was being a bit related with electronic music, and it was really cool for me, the way to mix graphics and music.
Yeah.
From the beginning. That was even before discovering drum and bass.
Yeah.
So I was always trying to find how I can, because I knew that I don't have musical skills. I've been really bad with music always. But with graphics and with art, I was good. So I wanted to be part of that. And I was trying to find a way I can, join this in a creative way.
So at what point did your design move away from techno and house, and at what point did it join with drum and bass?
Perfect. So there is a point in my life that I was different things happening at the same time. That, well, in Spain we have a really bad economic crash 10 years ago, and At the same time, I was working for Vodafone in a job. I was already 5 years working there. I wasn't happy. What I was doing, and even I wasn't even doing graphics for techno in a professional way. It was more like amateur way. It wasn't a full-time job. Okay, so it happened that my ex-girlfriend split with me, and I felt really like down.
Right.
So I remember once I was at my friend's home, the guy who showed me what drum and bass is, and I started to see these posters, and I say, "Who is doing these graphics? Who is doing the graphic design for Metalhead, Hospital Records?" I started to do the questions, no,
Yes.
to myself. So I did a little research on the internet, and the first thing that just popped in my feed was Tromboy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have we're very, very proud possessors of a Drone Boy figurine here.
Yeah, that's
These are limited edition.
because
This is Drone Boy.
exactly it's David Show. In that time, basically I seen some on Google. I just find some of his artwork, and I was just doing a bit more research to the point I found his Instagram. Okay, so I started to follow Drum Boy's Instagram. Follow Drum Boy's Instagram. Basically, he started to follow me as well, and we started to change artworks. Basically, he was
Nice.
to the point that he basically was asking me, why you don't, because I have my own Instagram, that moment where I was showing my artwork as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were changing opinions about art and design, and to the point that he asked me, why you don't work professionally on this if you are talented enough to don't be working or maybe or working on this right now. I say to him, well, this is not a possibility right now in Spain, but I would love to do it. And he said to me basically, "But you should come to the UK,
Yeah.
to work on this." In that moment, was a bit wow, a big
Yeah.
decision, to think about that.
That's one of those life moments, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where you've got a big cliff
Yeah.
and you have to jump off it.
Sadly. So I didn't jump that cliff yet. I just, say, oh, that would be lovely, but, move to the UK is quite a big thing. I didn't speak any English in that moment, but any. So 1 month later, basically, Drone Boy, he started Conga Junglist. That is the, drum and bass brand, streetwear brand nowadays. And he made this contest of like and share that to promote his new business. And I did it. I did like and share his post on Conga Junglist. And basically there was a contest. Yeah.
So you liked it and shared
and
it.
shared the content.
Yeah.
And basically he was giving away a hood.
Yeah.
So I did it and I won.
Wow.
Okay, I don't know.
Nice.
I don't know. He's never going to say me if it was a legal thing or not. You know what I mean? But I won. Okay, so he sent me the hood. Probably, I don't know. He sent me the hood, and that was the most important thing in all the whole story, because when I opened that parcel and I see the quality of the hood, the quality of printing, the quality of the design, the handwriting, packaging, all that love and dedication on just a hood, that wasn't even a piece of music, it was something that is not, it was a hood. For me, it blew my head, and I was thinking, I really want to live in a place that a business related with drum and bass like this is possible. That means there's so many fans and there's so many vibes and there's so many support that somebody who is running just as merchandise for drum and bass, it's not even a label. It's possible. This is possible. I want to live in a place that this is possible.
Yeah.
So that to win that contest, and that just changed something in my head, and 2 weeks later, I just moved to Cardiff, where he was from.
It's incredible. You just did it.
Yeah,
you made the jump and you moved to Cardiff.
Exactly.
And Dave Drone Boy,
Yeah.
is probably the only person who could have inspired you to do that. Because we've been friends with Dave since we started the label, because he's best friends with Lincoln High Contrast. And Dave's been so inspirational, certainly to us. And at times he's almost mentored us in many ways. We've collaborated on various things. And but he was the only guy who was really going deep into design of drum and bass only merchandise, and you connected with him.
Yeah, and he's a person who loves to make the others successful. He enjoys that.
He does,
and supports new ideas and supports the locals. And so for me was as well he doesn't knew me, more like on Instagram. Was really the owner of this company is asking me to go to Cardiff because he thinks that I have possibilities.
So you went to Cardiff, you landed in Cardiff, you got off the plane, and
I went to Bristol, and from Bristol to Cardiff on the train. On the train, yeah.
And did you go straight to see Dave?
No, he was really busy. He was really busy. I'm going to say that I moved to Cardiff, but I'd never been in Cardiff before. That was quite like, and now I'm thinking, I was saying, that's quite weird. But yeah, basically in that moment for me, Dave was the last thing. It was in my list of problems, because I was in Cardiff. I think with £600 or £700 in my pocket. And my idea was to stay. The way I was thinking that is, I'm going to stay with this here the longest as possible. I've been in the UK lot of times, but I never tried to get a job. So I took it a bit like a video game thing. Like when you start a video game and you need to just to explore and do your best. I knew that if I was game over, I was going back to Spain and everything was fine. I had my family there waiting for me. So I just explored it. So it took me obviously Dave is busy. He's a busy man. So it took me at least 2 or 3 weeks to have time to meet him.
Right.
And in that time, before I met him, I think in 7 days I was already working in Cardiff. I straight away went to McDonald's that they were looking for people, and because one of the reasons as well why I moved to Cardiff and it's not just because David Drumboy was there. It's just because cities like as London, for example, for people who from Spain that we don't speak English, are really harsh. Because you know that you are going to work probably in a service or not qualified job, and obviously with that salaries that normally are minimum wage, and London rent was impossible.
Oh yeah.
So I decided to move to Cardiff. That the life cost is cheaper.
Yes.
And more or less working at McDonald's, I was doing all right. I can pay my rent.
Yeah.
And I spent honestly at least 1 year and a half working in McDonald's. One of the things I was really interesting for me in that time was that my first overnight working there, somebody was blasting drum and bass, in the kitchen,
Wicked.
The whole night.
Wicked.
So basically, from being a completely new, person living in the UK, in 10 days I had friends, because drum and bass has this thing, you don't need to. It's just
it connects you.
It connects you,
instantly.
And you don't need. It doesn't matter if you speak or you don't speak or where you're from, So that group of people who were blasting drum and bass in the overnight, they became my friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a bit like the first year.
That's lovely. That's a lovely story.
Yeah, this is nice, isn't it?
Really
I
nice.
still keeping. I just went to Cardiff this last weekend. I still meeting all these
That's
friends
wicked.
from McDonald's.
Awesome.
Some of them they still working there. Some of them are not. But yeah, it's just my group of loyal people.
That's lovely.
Then on top as well, with time, I realized that obviously like Cardiff has a really like a small but really tight scene
Yeah.
of drum and bass. So.
Yeah. So what year was this?
This was 2015.
Right. Okay.
2015.
Yeah.
That was 5 years ago. That was just moved to the UK. And yeah, after obviously I was meeting like David Drumboy quite often, David Shaw, and to be honest, I was working different jobs after McDonald's. I was working at a pizza place. And at the same time, I started to basically do some kind of portfolio, okay?
Right, of your design.
Of my designs.
Yeah.
The reality, when I moved to the UK, I had a bit of like, and I'm not going to lie, I had a bit like faith on maybe like working for David Romboy, at some point.
Yeah.
Because it was the most... close to what I do.
It's what you wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I remember as well that in a moment they wasn't able to give me a job, because I didn't even know the dimension of these things, but maybe they look much bigger than they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like that big, any of this business, what I mean? To have
like a one-man cottage industry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I remember one day that Dave and Abby, they came to my place, and basically they said to me, "I'm really sorry, Dave, but I can't really hire you, from my company. But you should do your own company. You should do your own thing, because you're talented enough to do your own brand." So okay, in that moment, I understood that wasn't going to be possible to work for Congo Junglist, but I started to do my own brand.
Yeah.
Okay? That is called the Very High Energy Group.
Very High Energy Group.
Yeah.
And you need to check out the Instagram. What is it?
Yeah, it's the Very High Energy Group. Just go on Instagram. The thing is,
it's great clothing.
The idea of my brand was all this group of people, because I was living in Cathays, that is a students like neighborhood in Cardiff, and in my flat we were like not less than 6 people, and one of them mixing 24 hours, and we made that was all time like this, So it was all time drum and bass, the vibe was amazing, and we felt like that was like we were a really like nice and tight group. So that was the name, of the brand, the group.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started to do this. Obviously, really tiny, really small, with a few designs. They were selling more or less. But, and I think now we can start to link with Hospital Records.
Yeah.
I always say that every single thing I did, it's been like linking with the next one in a really like magical way. I remember once I went to David Shaw home to have a dinner with him.
Yeah.
And we were playing a role playing game of zombies, something really like like freak. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was playing with him, and she said, "Dave, this is fun, but did you apply for like the vacancy that Hospital Records is offering about merchandise?"
Yeah.
It was like a merchandise and webshop manager position being offered by Hospital Records.
Yes, because at the time, we'd only ever had one person doing both things. And that was what we were advertising, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Simone.
Yeah, was doing Simone was running, who is now a fantastic vocalist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I say, no way, no way. I'm going to. It's just I assume that I wasn't going to be like selected at all, from the beginning. So it's just like I just didn't like. Was like too like dreamy for me to just like take it seriously that was going to happen in any way.
Really.
So he say like, mate, no, you should, you should apply. And when he was so insistent with me, I say, okay, but just I'm going to try at least.
Yeah.
And I closed myself at home. I think I did this design. Yeah, there was this one.
Hold it up, because that is fundamental, that design, in our opinion of you. Because when you turned up for interview, I mean, we received loads of CVs and letters of application. Yours was brilliant, and I've got to show you something. Like this is how you really get into people's consciousness if you're applying for a job. Okay, you don't just bring you and your work. So Dave came. And he gave me this jumper, right? And it's a proper
that was a
gun fingers jumper. And I was blown away. And also these amazing prints.
Yeah, of different like,
photo quality.
Yeah. Well, I just tried. I mean, like, I'm going to be honest. I get ready everything with Dave. He came to my home at 2 a.m. just to help me to get everything ready.
So he was really mentoring you.
Oh yeah. That, and I always going to be like, remember that, because that was a massive effort. He came running to my place to spend maybe 6 hours with me at 2 a.m. to make sure that what I was, presenting on this interview was in line of what expected, And the thing is that like that first, like, obviously when he said you can really like, I can give you a job, and I did very honestly group, I was a bit like, okay, this is going to take a lot of time to go somewhere,
Yeah.
But no, it was exactly what I needed to basically go to this interview and be able to this is just the logo, to show something. I had something because he asked me to do something for myself in some way. So
just the logo. I mean, that's a really good logo.
Exactly. Well, this
is amazing.
There's many like graphics. You just check it on the Instagram. But the important thing was that this I'm going to say proto brand helping me a lot on this interview, to get this position. And the rest was amazing. Oli was selected as a merchandise designer, and I get the position of a Webshop manager.
Because we actually decided, and I think it was after your interview, we decided that to really expand our merch department, we needed to have 2 staff, because it's too much for one person.
Yeah.
To run a web shop, do the back end and do all the uploading of data and assets, and
design,
be in charge of designing stuff or getting other people to design stuff.
Exactly.
So I think we actually learned a lot from you, from your interview, and we kind of called you back, didn't we? We said,
of course.
We decided to split the role in 2, and we'd like you to run the web shop, and that doesn't mean that we don't want to use your design aspect as well, because we love your design.
Of course,
you know.
Course. I never.
Where's that ambulance T-shirt, man?
Oh, I think I left outside the kitchen. Maybe.
Is it in the kitchen? I'll go get it.
If you want to.
Yeah. Okay, this is how prepared we are here at Hospital Records. So, this is pure David Lopez. design,
Oh, thank you.
and it's the original ambulance design.
Yeah, that's exactly the
Put
same.
on a t-shirt
Too.
because I love that. The minute I saw that design, I was just like, "That is so sick that someone would do that
Thank you.
for an interview." You know,
Thank you so much.
it's so amazing.
Yeah, at the end, you know, like Ola and me, who are more or less the responsibles of the shop,
Back print,
in some
little ambulance on the back that zimming along. Love that.
in some kind of like mysterious way, we really connected, and yeah, it was amazing for me as well to have this connection with him, in the way like because it's difficult because obviously I have my idea of what the brand should be,
Yeah.
and Oli has his idea of how the brand should be, and sometimes two creative in the same like department or the same can clash, you know, if you know. But we found that we have more or less the same like taste or the same like influences, or we were able to you know to visualize where we want to go together, and it's been really interesting.
It's been great. I mean, it's so lucky that you clicked.
Exactly.
Because sometimes when you get two people to work together on one department, if they don't click, it doesn't work.
Exactly.
And with you two guys, it works.
Exactly.
I'm gonna get Ollie in as well on another day, and we're gonna do one of these.
That's going to be interesting.
He's got some. He's got some. Do you know what I love most? The moment I knew that Ollie was the right guy for the job, and it was after he'd done some brilliant designs, but it was his car, and he turned up one day, and because we decided we made our own packing tape, black and white packing tape with hospital designs all over it, which was if you've ever bought anything from hospital, you'll know the packing tape. And we decided one day to sell it because people were asking if they could buy it. So Ollie went and covered his whole bumper with packing tape.
Yes.
And then took pictures of it and put them on Instagram.
Yes.
And it was brilliant. And at that moment, I knew.
Yeah, it's we are really passionate, and I think that's the key, you know, to do something with passion, you know, like, and we have that, you know, and you know the rest comes behind, you know, that because you know it's amazing, and it's difficult to explain the feeling, you know, when you wake up and your job is to do exactly what you would be doing if you were not working. It doesn't make sense, you know. It's just like your hobby, and make it like, you know, try to do the best you can, but in what you really like to do. So that was, for me, was, you know, like really important, because I spent the whole of my life like working on things like they never feel me, you know. That was, you know, a great opportunity to do something like I really like feel, and sometimes it's true that, you know, like I take it really seriously, and you know, I think I have a bit of like grumpy.
You're a passionate guy.
Passionate, but it's just a passion, and sometimes it's just like blinds me, and I get a bit like, you know, like grumpy. But it's just because I really like it, I really feel it. You know?
But you're an artist, like, so real artists do have an artistic temperament, which means that sometimes they just get really grumpy. I'm the same, you know, and you're the same. Ollie's the same, and it's like it just comes with being a very, very talented artist. So people around you get used to it. You know, you get used to it, and I mean, for me personally, like, hospital's 25 years old next year, and we started our merch quite early in 1998, so 2 years after the formation of the label. And if any of you can be bothered, you can actually see the original hospital website. There's a really, really good website called Way Back When, or Wayback Machine, but it's archive.org. and all you do is you type in the URL, and it gives you a timeline, and it shows you points along the timeline when they screen grabbed your website.
Content, yeah, the website. Yeah.
So you can see what the hospital website looked like in 1998, and you can see what our first T-shirts were like and how we presented them. I actually think it still looks really cute and good.
That looks amazing, yeah.
But it's like from that point where there was no internet ordering. You couldn't order online. You had to write a letter and send a check. So we were getting checks from all over the world,
Wow.
you know, and we'd have to bank them, wait for them to clear, and then we'd package up the T-shirts, and they were all shrink wrapped and made to look like a 12-inch with the original sticker on,
Wow.
you know, the old hospital sticker, and then we go around the corner to the post office and post them. You know, it's really old school.
Yeah.
To go from that point to this point is amazing.
Yeah, this.
I mean, it really is. And for me, in many ways, I mean, I've been excited by the music and the musicians that we've had and the producers that we've got, and the amazing music that they make on Hospital Records. But I think at the moment I'm almost more excited,
as well,
if anything, with the merchandise.
Yeah, I think
because
that the hospital,
you guys have you've taken it to another level.
Oh, thank you. I think the hospital is becoming like an art company, not just a music company. I want to think like a hospital as an art company.
An art company.
Yeah. That puts out like different art of different artists, and obviously it's been focused on music and it's a record label, okay? But there's no reason why you can have like different kind of artists putting out hospital products, you know, and you know, like to a bit of elevate, you know, the category of this merchandise. And on top of nowadays, like we can see like you know, the youngsters, the young people is just putting quite a lot of importance on streetwear and you know, like spending more money than ever on that. Just, obviously we want to cover all this like demand, you know, as well, and offer as well like products, you know, like are not just music, can be like designs for t-shirts or designs for merch, because that are like in that level, you know.
So let's wrap this up with can you think of something that you've got in your head for the future that you want us to produce, to manufacture, that you haven't told me about? I don't know.
Yeah, we have many. The idea we are doing with or we are trying to do with hospital is just like start to look like a streetwear brand, and with all the that means like we are going to obviously expand our merchandise to different garments that we never had before. We can have, for example, tracksuits, or we can have like big winter coats, or we can. It's more or less we want to offer like as many shapes we can, because there's so many like different items that people is demanding to us to manufacture. So yeah, it's going to go from, maybe this went from a bit from t-shirts and like K-rings. Now it's going. We have been adding more different premium items, but we are going to finish. We want to finish like looking like a streetwear brand that in some way like has more different shapes and different blanks and different like items to offer than just what you can consider just merch. That I personally dislike the word merchandise because I have in my head associated with this throwaway merchandise, or this like it's something like by itself has a lot of value. It's always related by like a brand that is supporting it. It's a word I really never like it. You know, I like to talk about our clothing, hospital clothing, because it's much more respectful with the you know, like the items we are doing. You know,
But it's more than clothing, isn't it? It's like, I mean, we've done packs of cards, piano scores.
Accessories, exactly.
I mean, whatever we can think of, like tea towels,
Exactly.
you know,
That's great.
oven gloves,
Exactly.
stuff that no one else does, that we think we can sell.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, we've still got about 1,000 rubber rings left.
I know. Well, you know, at this.
I mean, I think we would have sold a few this year had there not been COVID. And
But it's a long-term investment.
yeah,
so,
we'll
exactly.
we'll get through them in 10 years.
Exactly. So no, that's not. It's not really worrying us. But yeah, we want to, in some way, like, start to be a bit more like elevate that like concept of our merchandise and put it updated and so not updated but like, the concept itself like elevated to a new thing to make it much more attractive nowadays because it's what people want, you know, nowadays.
Yeah, it certainly is. So I remember when you started your job, you really wanted to grow the Instagram account. And I remember that conversation because we had about 4,000 followers or something on the hospital shop Instagram, and you were tearing your hair out saying, we've got to get to 10,000 because then if we get to 10,000, then we can become verified and we can sell stuff from Instagram.
Yeah.
And that was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago, yeah.
And how many followers have we got now?
We are over 11,000 or...
There you go.
Yeah,
So
that was good. Obviously, Instagram...
Smashed it.
Instagram is, you know, like, you want to be... The thing is, Instagram is a really visual platform, okay? And obviously, it's something that goes through your eyes. So to sell merchandise that as well is something like comes from, you know, like illustrations on T-shirts and they really pop. You want to be there, you know, on Instagram. And
have you got any advice? Because you work Instagram really, really well. And have you got any advice for, say, people who are starting up their own shop or their own kind of visual business where they want to sell stuff on Instagram? Have you got any advice on what not to do and what you should do?
Basically, I was a bit like just trying to copy in some way the big brands, what they're doing. Okay, so big brands, but not related with drum and bass at all. You know, like big brands of streetwear. You know, so what they do, how they like show a t-shirt, how they do promo of this or that. So I was saying, okay, but I'm going to try to do something similar for hospital records. You know. And that's what we started to do, no? It started to be maybe step a bit back from even drum and bass itself and step into how a bit more fashion, if you can say.
Yeah.
So in the moment that we start to basically go a bit in that direction, people start to, you know, like to buy more our merch because they see that effort done. One of the things I remember as well, like, was we did on that Instagram is, and I'm a bit proud on that. Is just we didn't really like just give away our merchandise or our clothing to all the artists we can and make them like wear our merch because I understood. Obviously, we normally do that as well, okay? But I understand that was really easy for a label. It's quite easy to just like give away to our artists all our merch and please can you wear this? Please can you wear this? And show it in a way for the fans. It's like if I was a fan, I'd say that's cool, but it's quite easy and logical that your artists are wearing your merch. What I wanted basically is like random people be on our featured on our Instagram because random people, and with random people I'm talking about the ravers, the fans, the people who buys our merch, not the people who gets our merch for free, you know, the people who buys our merch that's the people I want to be represented of our Instagram. You know what I mean? I know it's not for you, it's not for nobody, okay? But yeah, I've just tried to keep a bit like real.
There's a real if you're a geek and you're really into this, have a look at the Hospital Shop Instagram, and you'll see that there's a change that started 2 years ago. Because before that, the way we used to present our merchandise was in a very simple, just flat image. This is the T-shirt, and maybe we would put it on Romy because he had a good body, but it would basically be flat image and quite boring.
But that used to.
I mean, it works.
That used to work.
It works,
and that used to work for the time. For the time was okay.
What you guys have done is now, like you say, you're putting things in street settings, in totally different settings, in different environments, and which, thinking about it, is exactly how we used to do with our music promos. I mean, you probably don't even know about this. When we started, probably about 15 years ago, when we started our YouTube channel, and we were thinking, how can we promote this 12-inch? Because everything was coming out on 12 inches, you know. And I think it was Tomahawk who came up with the idea of, like, let's get a portable record player, put the 12-inch on, and put it in a different setting. So he put it on the bonnet of his car, and drive it around Sydenham, where we were based, and just video it, and then we dubbed the music on, and that was the video. Or we'd stick it out onto a bollard, which is in the middle of the road in front of traffic, and there's traffic going, and speed it up, and the record's playing. You can see the needle kind of like moving across, but dub the record to it, and that's our little YouTube promo for the music, and it works really well because you're putting things into an entirely different context, and I think that's now what you're doing.
Yeah, we are basically like, it's just to put a bit of like time and effort and creativity on the way it's just the merchandise and the clothing is being promoted. It's not like because before was doing wrong. It's just the evolution of how it's been like evolving the promotion on the streetwear. You know, time ago that was completely fine to do and was enough to do yourselves. You know, now our customers are asking something else. You know, there's much more rivalry. There's much more many brands that they want to sell their like clothing. So you need to do something, you know, like that stands out. You know, and that's a bit what we are trying to do, obviously, and putting a bit as well of humor. You know, because this company
really important.
Hospital is a bit like, you know, like it needs to make you in some way like, you know, be happy.
We never take ourselves too seriously.
Exactly.
And it's kind of a golden rule, isn't it, really?
Exactly. But yes, I remember, you know, like I would sometimes like explain why we look a bit serious on the pictures, and it's just because it's just like it's a more like fashion buy, so it's not because we are like really or serious, or it's just like maybe we are like serious on the pictures, and in the background is, you know, like a car of flames or something like that. Whatever. It's I mean, like try to do something like you know, like cool.
Well, I've got to say, it's been brilliant. Like over the last 2 years, to see what you and Ollie have done with our merchandise, and I'm absolutely fascinated to think what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, if our fans basically still supporting us like they do. You know, everything. We have many ideas.
What was amazing was actually in February we knew that lockdown was coming in March, and we preempted it, and we sent all our staff home to work from home because we felt it was safer, and we preempted lockdown, and I remember we had a board meeting about it, and we were talking to you as well, and we were saying, is there going to be any point in keeping the web shop open because no one's going to buy anything?
Mm.
And David said, well, I live around the corner and I can cycle in, and there might be 1 or 2 orders,
Yeah.
and I'll do them. So we'll just keep it ticking over. So we were like, yeah, fair, cool. We won't have to manufacture anything, but and lockdown started, and it coincided with hospitality at the docks in March, which obviously got cancelled. So we did our virtual hospitality in the docks, 12 hours of live streaming. And you were here.
Yes, I remember.
And the shop, I just remember you panicking, like, and phoning everyone saying,
Yeah.
I need help. The shop's gone mental.
Yeah.
It's gone ballistic.
Yeah, it was obviously nobody knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember, like Craig asking me, like, "Oh, Dave, you mind to come for a couple of weeks and like just carry on with this?" I say, "Yeah, if I can just keep be like social distancing for everybody, I don't mind, because I come walking to work." And I don't know what happened. Everybody was at home, or maybe there's no possibility to spend money on events, but everybody decided to go to the shop to buy something. And
what was amazing for me was, because I've always thought, and I think we've all always thought, that our fans, our family, buy hospital t-shirts to wear to events. And that's been an assumption that we've made, and yet it was lockdown. So everyone knew there was going to be no events for ages. And
yeah, people are still buying it.
Your sales tripled. I mean, they went through the roof.
Yeah, they went through the roof, and they're still pretty high from that event. Yeah, that's right. I had the same more or less idea, but it looks like people is really comfortable with our like clothing, and just like want to wear it every day, and that's a bit what we were trying. We were trying to just make some fans just to swap to our clothing, and they don't really need anything else, because we can cover everything from them, And if you have like enough variety of styles, varieties of like designs and colors, you can have like thousands of combinations, that where people can like still wearing and supporting hospital, and they don't really are wearing the same t-shirt, or they are not wearing the same items. They are completely different, And so, yeah, we give the possibility. I want to think, like, if you had the possibility to buy one t-shirt, but we are selling now for $21.90 our t-shirts from a different brand. We are offering the same or more quality than a different brand that is not known, because people is going to go for our options, if they have enough variety. We work as well really well the fact like our range is unisex. That was really, really important for us, because we have almost 40% of our sales are for women.
Yeah.
I think that is pretty interesting, and always we have been trying obviously to make at least our main ranges like unisex.
Yeah, it's really important.
That really helped with the be able it's not just the blanks are unisex, it's our designs as well.
Yeah,
it's like obviously we don't like make designs for men or designs for women. No. We make designs and we put them on like unisex t-shirts, so basically everybody has access and everybody can be attracted for those designs.
Okay, so just to wrap up, I've got 2 questions to ask you, and you can answer them with one word almost. First of all, which is your favourite piece of merchandise that we've ever done?
And my favourite piece is possibly the fleece with it.
Yes, that's my favourite too.
as well.
It's amazing.
Yeah, was amazing it's just amazing because it was the first time we were doing something so like exotic for saying some way, because
I love it
because it's like a winter fleece like with a pattern that Oli was working really passionate about that, and as well because it was a bit difficult to go ahead with that design.
There was quite a lot of resistance.
Yeah,
like at the top level of the company, at the financial director level.
Yeah,
like people were like, really? But it sold really well.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a winter fleece, but I was wearing it last night because I was outside in the garden with a couple of mates because it was a really lovely evening, and we were just having a wine and a chat and had some candles, and it was getting a little bit chilly, so I just got my fleece. You know, it's perfect.
Yeah,
so it's a great summer garment as well as a winter garment.
Yeah.
Second question. What is your least favourite piece of merchandise that we have ever made? And this can include merchandise that wasn't made by you or Ollie. What do you hate that we've done? There must be something.
I'm not hate, but I am really funny with the Broly tee. We made a Broly tee, and it's not hate the word at all. It's just really curious about the design. It's always like caught my attention, you know, because it was like a Broly. It's just a summer design of a t-shirt, and we call it the Broly tee. And it was just a Broly of summer Broly in the middle of the t-shirt.
Yeah.
Was really like original for me and different. So I say that's weird. But for me, it's just I don't really like
that. Broly was a sunshade, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like a kind of
yeah. And I always be curious about the Broly tee, but honestly, it became an instant classic for me as well. So now I love it. Maybe we do a VIP version of the Broly tee.
Really, that's so funny. No, don't.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's aged itself.
Yeah, we made like some big mistakes as well. So what I mean is like
you have to,
you know, like
you have to,
you know, like but it happens when you want to, you know, explore new things. It's going to be always like some of our products that they don't go anywhere. But yeah, it's part of learning, and I want to point that as well. You know, like Oli and me, we're learning as well. We didn't like wanted to come to this company and say you need to do this in this like we know everything and we know how. No, we don't. You know, we have an idea, really passionate of what we want to do, and we execute that the best way we can. But it's just like we are learning on that, and you know, like we have space to improve as well. So
yeah, and that's the approach of every good creator. You know, whether it's music, whether it's paintings, whether it's designing clothing, designing art, is you've always got to be curious. You've always got to be learning, and you've got to think of yourself as not really knowing it much. I mean, no one's an expert. You know, none of us are experts. We're all learning on the job constantly about everything. And that includes the way we run the company. It includes the way we make the music. It's everything, you know. But David, I just want to thank you for coming in and really opening your heart. And I think your story is a very inspirational one. And obviously, we want to big up Dave Drone Boy, because without him, you wouldn't be here.
No, without his support and his, you know, like, he will really believe in me to the point that he still believes much more than I do myself.
Yeah, he's an incredible guy, and Concrete Junglist is a brilliant clothing label. And if you haven't got any, get some. Exactly. Definitely.
Yeah, I just wanted to finish just like just in a little like mention of as well a person that is Maria Lopez, that is my sister.
Maria, yeah.
Who sadly she passed away like 3 years right now. From now,
it was just after you started, wasn't it?
Was just
like,
before
you started,
like 4 months before.
Right,
I started.
Yeah,
that I want to say something. It's just my sister Maria. She was already living in the UK when I moved to the UK. She was a Spanish teacher, in Cambridge, and was the person who obviously Drumboy gave me the hope in something in a better future. But my sister gave me the all the strength and aim and confidence from my family side, because to explain this from the side of my parents, my parents, they still don't know what drum and bass is.
Yeah,
they don't really understand this. No. Okay,
they
so
wouldn't.
my sister was always really supportive, defending me my crazy ideas, because in that moment they were really crazy ideas of dreams that they didn't know were happening yet.
Yeah.
And the only really person who really understood and support me was my sister, and was always pushing me to move to the UK, to follow my dreams, to follow her steps, because she did it great in Cambridge as well, one year before. Was obviously, after her accident and she passing away, was for me that obviously I was feeling myself like I'm going to have the worst life ever after this event. You know what I mean? Because it's just like I didn't get my dreams myself, and look what is happening to her and my family, and my parents,
Yeah.
And hospital records came as some kind of I don't know how to explain it. It's exactly what I needed in that moment for make that trauma a bit less harmful to myself.
Yeah.
So giving me the possibility to develop as a professional and be a bit more my head a bit more focused on something else than not the, that tragedy, that happened in my family.
And carry on Maria's hopes for you.
Exactly. So, yeah, I don't believe in really weird things, but in some ways she did something from there to at least sort me out to me, and don't just be in a proper hole that is where it's supposed to be, what happened. And I don't believe in things and afterlives and things, but I really have some ideas of that, maybe she moved something there.
There is a connection.
To make possible what was just a dream. And if she was still being alive, she would be coming to, like she did, to Brixton Academy and raving, and you know what I mean? So that was really, really, really important as well.
Well, I want to say big up Maria, because she's as much a part of you being here.
Yeah, exactly.
And but most of all, big up yourself for taking all those steps and taking those risks and following your dream.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's an absolute pleasure to have you here. And I look forward to seeing you whenever I come in here. You're the first person I look forward to seeing.
Thanks so much.
So we're not allowed to shake hands. We are distanced just exactly the right amount, but I think we can bump elbows.
Thank you, Tony.
Okay. Massive love, Dave.
No worries, mate. Thank you so much.
Take it easy.
Just if somebody wants to just see a bit better the design, this is just a t-shirt. It's available in very high energy group Instagram.
Yeah, it's available right now.
Right now.
Get one.
Goodbye.